It was the second week of January 2020, and Tessa Blanchard, one of the most famous female stars back then, was mere hours away from taking on Sami Callihan at TNA Hard to Kill, where she would go on to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in a history making moment. And that's when Tessa decided to post a tweet that changed her life, destroyed her career forever. Tessa tweeted out, "Hey women, try supporting one another, cool things happen." Looking back now, one wonders what would have been Tessa Blanchard's career today if she hadn't posted this tweet back in 2020. Tweet backfired hilariously on Tessa Blanchard. Several women came out responding to the tweet and taking shots at Tessa Blanchard. Current WWE Women's US Champion Chelsea Green responded to Tessa Blanchard's tweet. "You have consistently put down, bullied, and belittled countless female co-workers, including me. Is that support?" NWA World Women's Champion of that time, Alison Kay, also commented on the tweet. "Remember when you spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you supporting women?" The audacity of this tweet. Chelsea Green responded to Alison Kay's tweet confirming the allegations, stating that, "I remember that." Current WWE NXT superstar Gigi Dolin, aka Priscilla Kelly, also tweeted and added to the conversation. "Remember publicly putting me down on Twitter last year for something that didn't involve you whatsoever, then continuing to drag my name to other people for it? Pepperidge Farm remembers. You should probably delete this tweet." Casey Michael of Squared Circle Sirens also chimed in. He said, "She bullied Rene Michelle at an indie show and they had a tussle of some sort. I figured people involved in it would know more details." The allegations kept coming in, and Tessa Blanchard finally responded to Chelsea Green's comment. "I have never been anything but kind to you. I have dealt with mean girls since I started, not saying I am a saint. Hell, I have had my ups and downs and I have made silly decisions. Such is life. You have zero merit in your comments, instead putting me down here for a little clout. You got my number." At TNA Hard to Kill, Tessa Blanchard defeated Sami Callihan to become the first ever female TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But the damage had already been done. Before that career-destroying tweet was posted by Tessa Blanchard, many fans were speculating that she would go on to debut in WWE in a few years and become a top female star on the main roster, feuding with the likes of Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. But what did happen was that Tessa Blanchard destroyed her own career with that tweet and slowly and steadily faded into obscurity. The worst thing about Tessa Blanchard's tweet was she never apologized to anyone and never took accountability for her actions. And shortly after the tweet was made, she did an interview with Straight Talk Wrestling. Here's what she said during the interview. "So when everything happened to me, it was even like a tough topic to even talk about. I remember I was living in Tijuana at the time, and I remember some days I would wake up, I didn't even have the strength to live that day, so I would just go back to bed and I would be in my bed all day long. There were days where I was tired about life just because my identity was wrestling. I didn't know who I was without wrestling. And in a matter of less than 24 hours, it was from here to boom. From contract offers from the biggest companies, more money than I had ever seen in my life, to nothing. This whole Impact World title storyline we had built for 8 or 9 months to me begging the TNA office that day, I don't wanna win it, I don't wanna do this." And after I didn't go home. I went on a 27-day media tour in Mexico where I remember we would pull over in the Uber before every interview and I would vomit. I was just puking and puking because it was whiplash. I didn't know, and I was seeing and hearing, and my family, my little brother and sister were 14 years old at the time, were reading all these things about me that I knew wasn't me. I knew wasn't in my heart. I wasn't this person, but it didn't matter. Perception's reality, right? The truth doesn't matter, and even the real truth isn't even out there still, and it doesn't matter. But sometimes those things happen because when your feet are pretty far off the ground, when you fall hard. And I didn't know my identity without wrestling, and through all of that, through those ups and downs, those really hard days that I didn't know if I was gonna get through, I found out who Tessa is without wrestling. Tessa Blanchard's comments about her declining mental health received a response from Chelsea Green again. She wrote on Twitter, I don't wish self-harm or thoughts of suicide on anyone and hope she has found peace. However, a simple I am sorry goes a long way. We haven't heard that yet. Accountability matters, and a redemption tour of interviews won't erase the actions of an egotistical bully. In a huge twist to this issue, Tessa Blanchard was recently brought back, rehired by TNA Wrestling. She attacked Jordynne Grace in the middle of the ring. Jordynne Grace, whose TNA contract is about to expire, and many fans believe that she is going to debut in WWE very soon as a full-time performer. As expected, the wrestling world wasn't happy one bit over TNA Wrestling bringing back Tessa Blanchard. Let's check out some of the reactions on Twitter in response to Tessa Blanchard being brought back by TNA Wrestling.